Welcome to our podcast. What she said.
Hey, this is Audrey, and this is Courtney, and we are the Girls of 95.
Yeah. Girls of 95. Yeah. Yeah. Girls of 95. Oh, yeah. But we can start now. Yeah, we can start
now.
today's podcast. Wasn't that great, guys? Didn't you enjoy that? It's recording, right? It doesn't look red.
Wait. It says it's showing red. Hang on.
It is?
I mean, on the screen it was.
Technical difficulties.
No, it shows it's recording.
I thought there was another light before.
No, it goes ding if it stops.
Oh,
wait.
okay.
No, it's because we always flipped it.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah, you're right. And then it says record at the top.
Okay, does it look even?
Yeah.
There we go, guys. We're back on our real camera because before it, I messed it up or Audrey messed it up. Somebody messed it up. I don't know. The SD card was jacked. But
Yeah.
YouTube, I actually need to I feel like I need to shout the guy out who helped me. Wait, who is it?
Yeah, who helped you? So yeah, our camera's been effed and we've been recording on the phone. And then last week, if you watch on YouTube, you know that like half the video wasn't there because our phone said no more storage.
Forget about it.
Anyway, so this is the first time we're back with our 90s video camera, but it's been having some issues. So who helped you out today, Court, on YouTube?
I just want to give a special shout out to Tech Insider. Tech Insider, you really came in clutch for me, my dog.
You're really the homie, Tech Insider, and we appreciate you and all you do. I will say that's thank God for YouTube tutorials. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know everybody thinks that too, but whenever I was setting up the podcast and stuff too, and just figuring out how to do all of that, record on 2 mics on 1 computer, there's so many YouTube tutorials, two tutorials.
Yeah, it's so many tutorials. No, for real, I feel like the most wonderful thing about YouTube, as far as other than just for entertainment wise, if there's something you need to know, I am not confident at all with technology. The opposite, because I'm always afraid I'm gonna F something up so badly if I just start going in.
You're really, I think, you're
no, I'm so afraid. I literally am so afraid. I don't know why, and maybe I genuinely don't know why. I'm terrified of it.
Because you're just a girl.
I'm just a girl.
And I work in electronics. You'd think I'd be better at it, but
well, the only thing I'm not stressy about at all is Google Apps. I can handle that. I know Google Apps back and forth for my previous
thank God
job.
for that.
Anyway,
Actually,
yeah, I would sing Google Apps praises, the fact it's way better than Windows.
Yeah.
Or Microsoft, whatever it
is. I don't know. How's your week been though, buddy?
Oh, very interesting. Work has been pretty stressful. Today was actually, I was literally so stressed about today just because there's a big change happening. Mm-hmm. And I was just so afraid that it was just gonna which it might still be sucking in harder for the rest of the year. Just somebody left. Right. And so there's more.
Oh yeah, you got more kids today. How'd that go?
Yeah, I was very afraid that just just having more students in your class can just make it a lot harder and stressful, but they're all really, really sweet, and they did a wonderful job today. So, and it was just a nice sunny day, and I don't know, it wasn't too bad. It was actually a nice day. So
good
for how just kids just thrive on routine. So today, since it was off the routine, I was just afraid it was going to be very, very crazy and chaotic, and it really wasn't. They did a really nice job. They impressed me. I was very happy about it. I felt there's just some days when it just goes well, and maybe it has nothing to do with me, but I feel not a failure.
They were probably really jacked and excited today too, and trying to put their best foot forward, because even though they know these kids, it's new kids on the block.
Well, and they never had me. They know me from just being around, but I've never been their teacher, and they're all trying to be
well, and I'm
very
saying
good for
your
me.
other students that you already had too, they're probably were jacked up, trying to be yeah, Miss Holiday's class is the best class, and
I feel like my students were the ones that were
a
little
better luck next time.
Same old. It's the same ones who try to yank my chain all the time, so it's nothing new.
Dude, I think we need to have an episode, which it's only if you're comfortable, just to talk about all of the drama that you've had as a teacher, because I think it's hysterical. That guy on TikTok that has those elementary school kids, he's always doing the dumbest stuff, they do flips and stuff. I just want an episode just where you talk about that, or just crazy things that have happened at work. I think that would be really fun.
I think it's just the stuff I have to say, the things I say.
I
are
have
just
fun
so
things too.
off the wall for them to like get it, because you have
Yeah.
to say things in a way where they're just like, I don't know. They have to know that I'm being serious, but it almost has to be kind of in a funny way sometimes for it to just them to still relate.
Right.
I'm telling you, I have to put on a Broadway musical every flipping day.
Woohoo.
I'm just like, I show up and I'm like, "Pshoo." Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
They go crazy.
yeah.
They go crazy.
Yeah, but that's fun. We should dive into that sometime too, because I have some fun work stories as well.
Yeah, maybe we'll do work stories like
And also
in a
other
couple months.
And also other people's work stories too. Maybe like do some Reddit stories. Like,
I feel like I just have good work. I mean, I would never like name drop, but I just know
Yeah.
of other people that have just had crazy stories. Work stories, I feel like that's the only thing that scares me. I would not talk about my current job. I couldn't. I literally physically couldn't.
oh, I would. But I would also.
I wouldn't.
I've had a lot of like odd jobs and stuff too, and I feel like I could talk about that. And
Yeah, no, I could talk about
Yeah.
old stuff for
Yeah.
sure. For sure.
yeah, we'll try that. Next
All my
time.
craziest stuff has definitely happened at my current job though. So, yee, woo.
My day wasn't too bad. I got a lot done today, so balls to the wall. Anyway, but wait, we wanted to touch on too the whole Kanye thing, because that's happening
Shocking.
in real time. That just happened like the Super Bowl, and today's Thursday, and then this episode's coming out next Wednesday, so it's like a week, whatever.
Pretty relevant.
But y'all,
still.
it's been crazy, y'all.
How do you feel about Kanye West? Because
I love Kanye West.
So do I.
But I also love Kim Kardashian, and who do I love more than anybody? Probably Pete Davidson. So it's, I'm on both sides.
Here's
of the
my
track.
thing is Kanye's obviously got some major issues and he doesn't have a filter and
But
he has
he's
access
so
to
dope.
I love him so much though, and here's my thing is, that Kim Kardashian's team is so strategic, and it's like she's not like an angel in this or something, so this is just like a really just toxic situation from both sides, but you're only seeing Kanye like having a flip out meltdown.
It's so
But
good.
it's so funny. I literally love it.
Well, I
and
think
I honestly, now out of everybody, I like Kanye West the best.
I think Kanye
That's where I'm
is
at.
so funny. I thought he's always been really funny, but I've been seeing so many TikToks resurface of him just saying the stupidest stuff. And it's amazing. Like, I honestly think he's a comedic genius.
No, me too, because all the stupid stuff he says, like, I didn't realize until, like, I guess more recently, because I just never cared and wasn't really a fan. Everything that he says that's weird is on purpose. It's not like he's just, like, he's trying to be weird.
Yeah.
But he says a lot of stuff that I think is dope too. So
yeah, it's so funny. And Skeet, I just can't.
no,
Freaking
literally, that's
Skeet.
what had me crying. That's what Emily and I were talking about, because I was like, I was reading her something, and she's like, "Wait, is he calling Pete Skeet?" I'm like,
I love it. I'm living for
actually
it.
dead.
Well, Ryan brought up a really good point. He was like, "Isn't the new album dropping
Yes.
like any minute
So
now?"
you
And
know
I
it's
said,
all
you
just-
know this is all fake, like all of it. Heck, they keep saying too that like him and Skeet aren't even really together either. I think they are. I think they're they're having fun. They're effing around, But like,
But it's
definitely-
all just so planned. Like where
this
where
all
I
just
would be
planned.
like going and having fun and dating somebody, and it would be with no agenda other than
Right.
just to spend time with somebody, where these people are like, okay, we can go spend time with this person, I might genuinely be having a good time, but like I'm getting so much
and I think
media
too,
coverage for it, and it's
what's
just
her face that he was dating? They just broke up or whatever. But I think that was all planned too. I mean, it's just the
I
perfect
actually
storm.
loved that,
You have
though.
to think about it too. So what's her name? I just forgot it.
the girl from
Uncut Gems. What's her name? Ula. That's her. That's who he was dating. The girl from Uncut Gems, the movie.
Kanye. I thought you were talking about Pete Davidson. No, I hate that girl.
Oh well. Anyway, I thought it was
I don't
very
know.
interesting.
Kiki.
No, what's her name? I've been like
Laura.
looking up on Instagram. Is it? Look it up. But anyway, it's like, okay, really freaking funny that literally like, Skeet and Kim were spotted having a V-Day date. Then Kanye rolls off right around the Super Bowl. And then him and that one girl are dating. And then they break up right after the Call Her Daddy podcast episode.
Julia
where
Fox.
Julia Fox.
Yeah, okay.
She was literally just on Call Her Daddy, literally in the same week. And then they broke up. And then Yee's album's coming out like.
Yeah,
this
it's
is
all
planned.
it's all just a media storm.
But it's freaking entertaining.
Yeah, but I just think that girl is so icky. Have you heard? Because they made her
yes,
and it's so
Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems, and I'm like,
No, I'm honestly obsessed though.
I would literally be dead and talk like that. And maybe that's how I sound to some people.
I don't even listen to Call Her Daddy that much. I listen to a few episodes, but it is like a little bit wacko sometimes. But I do really like it. I think it's good content, and I think it pushes the envelope on like a lot of podcasters like won't go to. But she was saying too, she was just like, yeah, I did meth for a little bit, and like she is wild, this girl, like wild. Jeez. But I guess if you're a celebrity, I mean, I guess maybe that's not that weird, but meth? I think it is. Meth is pretty hardcore. That's like... Anyway, but she seems like a character for sure, but also kind of a badass in a way as well.
I just feel like she's icky Vicky, but I only saw like a little bit of it, and I hate every outfit she wears, so
yeah,
that's how I judge. She's a celebrity.
She's a celebrity,
so I'm allowed,
and she's uncut gems as
yes. Uncut gems.
And same with yay. Anyway, but Lord. It's been an interesting week, and then the Rams won the Super Bowl. We're from Missouri, so I mean.
I did not care. I didn't care.
It was a close game, though. I did want the
I
to win.
You wanted the Rams or the Bengals?
The Bengals.
Yeah, I wanted the Bengals too. I wanted the Bengals to win too. No, I was literally, Emily had bought a pack of cookies shaped like footballs. And so I was over there decorating cookies while the game was on.
Good. It was a good game. Like, it was generally great. And the halftime performance.
My favorite in a long time.
Literally probably my favorite I've ever seen. Like, it was just so good.
I will say I'm never really a huge fan. Audrey and I'm not trying to say, like, we're not like other girls. Not like that. I'm just saying, like, we know, obviously, like, popular music and listen to it. But it's not like I wouldn't say the majority of what we listen to isn't what's on the radio.
I mean, I stan Olivia Rodrigo every day. And Taylor Swift, but Courtney doesn't. But...
I'm more of a fan now anyway, whatever.
But yeah, like she was saying, like we like popular music, but we don't what?
I farted. Oh. And it smells really, really bad.
Great. But yeah, what she was saying, we're not like a huge fan of like popular music.
Right.
Stuff,
so like when The Weeknd was
it was cool.
It was entertaining, but was I like, yeah, let's go The Weeknd? I'm like, no. Especially like Lady Gaga, I could not have cared less.
Yeah. Again, she's iconic, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just no.
I think the last Super Bowl performance that I saw that I thought was really good was probably Beyonce.
That's what I was going to say too. And that was when we were in like high school.
Yeah, and since then I feel like every year it's just been like, oh, okay.
Even then I didn't care about Beyonce. I just thought she did a really good job.
Well, it's like at least she was iconic. Like I think for that stage you need to be like massive. Like you need to be a big deal. Like, I don't know. And maybe we're reading too much into it. But
no, I think... And I'm not in charge of finding a halftime performer, obviously, for the Super Bowl. But you have to be so careful to choose somebody that just that's popular and multi-generations. Like, you can't just pick. And also know your audience. Because, like, if you're trying, I guess you really shouldn't be trying to appeal to me because I don't care that much about the Super Bowl. So, like, what's your... No, I promise you the people that are tuning into the Super Bowl don't care about Lady Gaga. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Like, that was a really dumb choice. I understand she's iconic, but I guess they're trying to pull in people to just watch her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that can make sense.
Either way, though, I don't know.
But this lineup was great, and I do think that they need to keep doing, like, the mixed acts because...
That makes the most sense.
Could you, like, see, like, like, it would be so epic to do, like, a Miley Cyrus and then go like with all the rocker cool chicks and just have like a rock and then like have Olivia come in and do a rocker cool chick thing and that could be the theme and it would be so epic. Have Madonna come in. Oh my god, like that would be really cool.
Well, my thing is I try to think of just like what are some random like right now how like Elton John and Dua Lipa have a song together. Like do I think that's the right combo for the Super Bowl? No, but like that idea where like they had what was that song where they had Rihanna and Kanye West and Paul McCartney? That type of thing where it's like they came together and they made a song together, so they might as well just like have some random show.
Yeah,
CMT Crossroads style.
Well, speaking of CMT, I saw on TikTok and I freaked out. 90s country throwback. Open with Shania. Let's go, girls. Can you imagine?
First of all,
freaking get all the country. Like, they haven't had a country artist in a long time, and I don't think any country artist can support that stage. But throwback 90s, freaking get some Toby Keith up there. Freaking get some, like, I don't know, throw it Rascal
Well, remember
Flatts.
whenever they had,
older,
like, wasn't there a 90s song that had, like, Tim McGraw and Nelly or something, too?
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just really mix it up. Make it crazy.
Get the icons. Get the icons.
Yeah.
But Shania is...
If Shania Twain's not there, though, I'm literally gonna...
Basically, copy and paste what we just did. Have the same kind of acts, but just make it country. And I think it would be a pretty
Genuinely,
good show.
yeah.
And I don't even like country music, but I think that would be epic.
I agree. And honestly, we were having this conversation the other day because obviously I'm going through some things because I was like jamming to 90s country music. And just in our last episode, I was just like, I don't like country music. So,
yeah.
I won't say like nothing, but am I a country music fan? No. But I was literally just listening to 90s country the other day in the car, and I'm just like, dog, this really does hit sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, do I ever want to turn on the radio and listen to current country music? No.
Are there certain country music current that I love? Yes. But it's like, it doesn't
But
always...
I think the people that I love aren't like, they're not the mainstream country music artists. I just think the mainstream who are known to be like country, actual country, not like Casey Musgraves where she's mostly like kind of like a folky pop, dream pop type thing, because I don't think that's country. Like, I know she's under the country music artist spectrum, but she's
way
different. Yeah, she's like if Cher was a country music artist or something.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, it just can't be like, I don't want to hear Jason Aldean ever.
Yeah.
And that's just what I have to say. So sorry, people who listen to that. Like, it's not that I have this personal vendetta against, it's just not my cup of tea at all. Like,
right.
It's the same way with screamo music. That's how I feel about, like...
Yeah. Although we did Warp back in the day.
But I didn't... That wasn't what I wanted to hear, though. It was all the melody parts that I was just like...
Here's some other good ideas for the Super Bowl, though, too. I just thought of this. Christina versus Britney.
They come back?
Literally, it would be so epic. And then maybe just have, like, NSYNC as well. Like all,
yeah.
I'm sure they would do that.
Maybe we're just really showing our age. And we're like, anybody from the 90s.
I'm sure they'll
90s country or 90s pop. Literally,
like when we're in our like 40s, I'm sure they would have to, right?
Yeah.
Another one. I thought of another one and then it left my head. All American Idol winners that are actually big. So you get Kelly, you get Carrie, you get freaking Daughtry up there.
I hate it.
That would be so. What's more American than that? Freaking Jordan Sparks. I know she didn't win, but like,
I know, but all those people I feel like are
okay. Just Kelly and Carrie.
I know, but I feel like the person that's only one of those that's still really relevant and like kind of cool is Carrie.
But Kelly is relevant too because she is on every show.
She just somehow got her toe in everything.
She does.
How? Who'd she marry? Some sort of
one of the
producer?
Super Bowl commercials. It was so funny. It was like promoting to NBC because that's what it was on, and it was literally like so many big acts or whatever, and they were like doing a promo, but they weren't including the big people or whatever. Like Terry Crews was there, and he was just like, "I'm literally Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like I am the main point." And he's like, "Why am I not here?" And then freaking Kelly Clarkson, she was just like, "I'm in every single one of your shows. Like, why am I not on this promo?" It was hysterical.
So true. Kelly Clarkson used to be too.
Yeah, I know. Like so it. What was your favorite commercial from the Super Bowl? Do you know? Do you have one?
I honestly didn't think, I wasn't paying that much attention. I'm telling you, I was making cookies and there was a dog there and I was playing with that dog.
Yeah. Because
he had a little toy named Mr. Bill that didn't have a foot. He was a little man. He kept putting it on me.
Nice.
No, I was just stuffing my face. Like literally, I only Super Bowl for the food. Maybe one year if I'm really in, like if the Bucks would have gotten a Super Bowl, I would have been really into it. But I just didn't care too much with the teams that were in it. But no, the one that I thought was cute was the Paul Rudd and Seth Rogen one. I just thought that was cute. Who else was in that? It was like there was a bunch of other.
I don't remember, but yeah,
relevant people in it.
My favorite one, which I was like, this is perfect, was the freaking mayonnaise commercial. I don't even like mayonnaise, but did you see that one?
I don't remember it.
Oh my god, it was so good. So one of the players in the NFL, I don't know what team he plays for, but his last name is Mayo. Okay. And I said, perfect. Already 10 out of 10. But he's literally tackling people because they're throwing away their food scraps. And he was just like, nah, you can put mayonnaise. You can make something with mayonnaise with that. You can make a quiche. You can make a this. You can make a that. Tackling people. Was so
that's really fun.
Good. And I was just like, yes. Like that generally makes me want to buy mayonnaise. And I think that's really important. Like the advertisement, sometimes I think they just try to get big names. They try to get big stories. They're not really like showcasing the product in a good way. And a lot of advertisers say that too, like people in marketing and stuff.
They're like, literally, we're genuinely just trying to.
This one was just so relevant. Be like, yes, what do we, like, who likes mayonnaise? A lot of people will like, what are we going to do with it? I don't know. Look at some of these food scraps. Here's some ideas. Here's 10 ideas that you can do with your mayo. And to make it even better, we're going to have a guy named Mayo tackling people for mayonnaise.
See, that person deserves a raise because it's not just like,
so good.
Okay, I got like the Dolly Parton and Miley Cyrus one.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
What? Oh, it was for like T-Mobile or something.
Oh, I didn't even see that one.
It was just okay. Somehow I'd already seen it. I'd watched YouTube on your TV like the day before.
Maybe it's just like a redo one. I don't know.
Well, it was like part of the commercial. There was like multi-parts to it.
Interesting.
Because like at first it was just Dolly Parton, and then the very end of it was Miley Cyrus, and then like the next, it was pretty cute too though, because they were treating it like it was like if you've ever been like, they were treating it like it was like this serious thing, like that it was this world problem that people weren't getting 5G or something like that. I don't remember what it was.
That's good.
But then it was like they had like a choir. It looked like We Are the World or something, and it was kind of like in like a grayscale. Like it looked like it was funny. A sad thing. Anyway, yeah, that one was pretty good too, but it wasn't like amazing.
Yeah. But I thought they were pretty good compared to last year. I think we really stepped up our game with commercials. Like generally I was just like, that's a good one. That's a good one. Where last year I was like, this all.
I should have paid more attention, so I had more to say about it. I genuinely just didn't.
Okay. I just cut you off guard with Super Bowl talk.
You're like, haha.
For so long.
Yeah, what was your favorite play?
We got the interception where the Bengals got the interception right after the halftime.
Yeah.
Epic. Like literally epic.
How do you
touchdown in like the first
who do you feel like was the hotter quarterback? Because
the Bengals. Oh my god.
See, the people I was with, one of my friends was like, he's so ugly. I'm like, no.
I kept telling Ryan, I was like, he gives me Ryan vibes. Like,
I think he's really cute.
Like him. Like kind of like not.
He looks like if Ryan was the villain in a like teen movie or something. Yeah. Like he was like the jock that's like a jerk, but also he looks kind of like Ryan. They have the same eyes. Like they had really piercing blue eyes.
Blondies, you know.
No, the guy's hot.
But I saw his walk-in outfit or whatever, you know.
Ew.
He looked like a cyborg.
Ew.
Not cute.
You know what? Male athletes, they pull that look, and I know I'm like the down to earth kind of lady, but like, are there girls that think that's so hot?
Doesn't matter. I think they've got money, so it's just like.
I know. I'm just saying though, like, I think guys who can dress are so attractive. Like, I think a guy that has cute style, like, it really bumps it up in my book, and it shouldn't, because it has nothing to do with their personality at all. Right. But like, that absolutely is like the opposite for me. Like, if I see some guy that like looks so, I don't even know what that fashion is called. It's not even like
modern.
It's not even
modern.
It just
Miami
is like
Vice.
Yeah, Tampa. It's very Tampa.
It's very Tampa.
There's a lot of,
but not our fave. But
no, it's like city boy
EDM fan. EDM's biggest fan.
It's like city boy wants to like mingle with the high roller guys.
Honestly, and it kind of looks like I just got my first $1 million paycheck.
Yeah, it's just.
But it's not.
Yeah, and no offense to this guy, because he's very cute, and like if you put him in a cute regular outfit, he would be like so
like
hot.
Just a simple blue suit that's like fitted.
Yeah, because I think guys in a suit are super hot too, but I'm just like, you don't have to. You can even make it look cool. Like, I honestly think like
no shirt underneath,
off the wall,
chain. Like, I think that still makes you look like city boy, but you look a little bit more. I don't know.
Yeah, and also this is not just talking about the general public. Like, if you're not a professional athlete and you're a guy and you're listening to this, like, don't wear a suit jacket with no shirt underneath.
Yeah,
and a chain, because I will walk the other way so fast.
No, but there's something simple too. If you were to just do like a basic blue suit with a shirt, no tie, undone, chain, like,
I feel like boob job, fake Botox girl, and I don't even mean like because there's a difference, because I'm not trying to diss anybody that has any of those like things, but I'm like, the girls you look at and they look like they are made of plastic surgery. I feel like those girls would think that's hot.
Yeah,
it's just, if I ever get plastic surgery, it's to look like I didn't have plastic surgery.
For some reason, though, I am obsessed with lip filler, like the way it looks. I honestly always, even when it looks bad, I still think it looks good. Is that weird?
No, because I think lip filler can look very good in photos, and I think when people start to speak and smile, that's when it looks so bad. Because I would get lip filler, and probably actually will someday, or something to make my lips a little bit more like juicy. But if it looked like I had, if it looked like I want it to look like I just have fuller lips. I don't want it to look like I got lip filler.
I know, but for some reason, I still think even the people that look like they have lip filler, I still am like, oh, that looks fine.
I think it's just because it's so normal looking now. Like, so many people have it. Because I know if I saw it on myself, I would not like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to look unnatural. I want everything that I ever get to look like, make me look naturally prettier, not look unnatural.
Right. Except maybe our tans look a little unnatural. I want to look a little bit unnatural with my tan.
My thing is, though, I never go tan. Like, I never have it look more tan than I actually can be.
Right.
So
I'm always pale, so
I'm very pale right now, though, and I don't like it at all. That's why I was actually going to go to the beach until you were like, hey, let's record a podcast. Girls. Yeah, let's go, girls. Anyways, yeah, so that we just did a really long week recap.
It happened.
And took our take on a lot of things. But we were going to get to kind of like why did we start this flipping podcast? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, you guys know that we're good friends, and you know that, like, it's just a fun thing to do. Mm-hmm. But we were kind of talking about how, like, we just have very similar senses of humor, and we enjoy kind of like just chatting and letting that kind of like freak flag fly type situation. And Audrey and I feel like most people get our sense of humor, but there's also just times when people are like, oh, cricket, because we just do get kind of dark.
Oh, yeah. We get very dark with our humor. Like, and if you were to get hit by a bus, I would just be like, oh, yeah, are you doing anything Friday besides getting hit by a bus again? You know what I mean? Like, I would just be very, I need to turn my computer on silent. One sec.
Oh, I was going to say that sounded like it came, okay. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, we're very, very dark with that, and we find humor in trauma, honestly.
Yeah, and here's the difference. I'm not gonna make fun of somebody. I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm saying, like, I've realized as I've gotten older that sensitive topics that have happened to me, mm-hmm. I can more easily talk about and like cope with if I'm joking about it. Because first of all, it's always shocking. I feel like the most traumatic things that have happened to me are shocking to other people whenever they find out. And so if I'm just like, I've also just kind of had like a weird, I don't really know. It doesn't make me uncomfortable, but I just don't know quite how to talk about it. Mm-hmm. And I think this is just kind of what it's morphed into naturally. And it's just naturally we are just kind of funny and silly and off the wall. So it just makes sense that it's kind of turned into that. Mm-hmm. But the older I get, the more I'm just like, yeah, well, you know, whatever. This is how it is. And this is what happens. So we're kind of just like, today we're going to talk about how our trauma has made us funnier. That's what we've come to the conclusion.
Yeah, it's made us so much funnier and so much more humble.
No, for real. Like, you know how many times I've said, like, I don't even remember like what even brought it up, but I've been like, yeah, character development, sweetie. Like,
no, and I say all the time too to people that don't know Courtney and stuff, or our friendship, and like how we were in high school. I'm like, I think we would have become awful people if it wasn't for our trauma. I really do, because we're good enough looking and stuff. You know, we were involved. We were involved in a lot of like activities, stuff like that. You know, we had boyfriends, stuff like that. I think if it wasn't for our trauma, we honestly would have become like, not mean girls by any means, but I think just being humbled by our trauma that we went through mm-hmm. made us a lot more relatable, and also to just not as bitchy, even though we are bitches still, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's actually true.
My main thing with that is that I don't know. It's hard to tell, because obviously there was time, and like I know my parents, like obviously they've had a whole life mm-hmm. That happened before like some of the trauma that's happened to my family and stuff.
Right.
And I think that they would have raised me like with the same upbringing and things like that. It's just like obviously like outside circumstances that you can't control have happened that have kind of like changed things. But I genuinely would have think that like, I don't think I'd be like way different, but I do think that I don't know, maybe it's just like I'd give more of a rip about things. And yeah, I do think humble would be a good word, because it's like the things that I have accomplished and the things I feel like that are successes for me, I do think it's because I'm like what is there to stop me? Like that's kind of like how I feel. I'm like, well, why would I not just go for what I want to go for and like build people up? Because it's like I've known what it's felt like to like feel awful and like your life be shitty. Right. And obviously we're not the only people in the world who've ever experienced that. Like, but that's what bonds people together. And so, well, this is getting kind of deep. I thought it was gonna be funnier. It will be, but I'm just saying, like, right now, it's like I understand how, like, Audrey and I have not shared in like the same trauma, but it's like obviously emotions that you've had are similar, or maybe even exactly the same to like emotions I've had during that, or you know, you're affected the same way. And I feel like that's just what makes you more relatable. I think maybe like that's the underlying thing here, is that we become more relatable. I relate to other people better. I feel like I can read other people better. I'm more compassionate. And I mean, you can learn that through other ways, I guess, just like through having good role models and things like that. But
I say all the time too, and obviously, like I said, I don't know everybody's trauma. I don't know what they've been through. Some of it is probably even way harder than what we've been through, 100%. But I will say sometimes too, it's like I could meet a person and be like, yeah, they're great, like they're whatever. But I was like, I feel like
tell they've never
been through trauma, and I'm like, I think they would be a better person if they went through it. Like, God bless that they never had to. But I was just like, I think they would understand the world a little bit more, or just, I don't know.
Well, my thing is like, trust me, I still get stressed out and things that are little still like bother me. But I just think like I just have such a heart, like it's so much harder to like get me down. Now it's just like, I really do like feel like I'm positive and like have a positive outlook and see like the beauty in life or something like so much easier, because I'm just like, you know what, it could be like 1,000 times worse. I've been there, and so have other people like that have had it way worse than I have. Like genuinely, now that it's like I've come out on the other side of it, I don't feel like it's like it was obviously really bad. But like what makes me feel so bad about it now, I feel like we should just get into like what actually happened. We're gonna keep dancing around it. Go ahead.
I feel like I should go first, because even though my trauma is crazy, I still think Courtney's is crazier. So
I feel like it's only crazier because it's like it genuinely like I'm the one that is the center of it.
Yeah. So what's different between our traumas, like I went through the trauma, but it wasn't my trauma, if you know what I mean. I was just there for that, where Courtney, it actually happened.
Well, I feel like the situation was like something happened to someone close to Audrey, and she was obviously it affected her, and like the thing that happened is like happened to me.
Yeah. So let's not keep you waiting. Let's talk about our traumas.
Let's forever. We're gonna go an hour, and you're never gonna find out.
So I'll go first. My mom got stabbed.
And
just squirrely things.
Just squirrely things.
Yeah, so backstory. So like I mentioned before, I was raised by my mom for a really long time, where it was just her and I. And she would date guys and stuff, you know, trying to find her Mr. Right, her person. And not gonna lie, Cindy, I'm throwing you under the bus, but some of the dudes were not my fave. Were probably not the best, but trial and error. Obviously, she's married to my stepdad now, who I love so much. So
also, we do not know what it's like to be a single mom.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I'm just like,
I understand it. I get it, you know. But anyway, but my mom did date this one guy who, like, on paper, like, seemed pretty great. You know what I mean? Like, super, you know, for the most part, normal. A little bit of a bad boy. Like, I feel like my mom had a bad boy thing, but, you know, super nice guy. I never felt, like, weird around him or anything like that. This happened, too, when I was 7. I'll preface that. I was, like, I think she started dating him when I was, like, I was 7. I was little.
When it happened?
Yeah.
I thought you were a little bit older for some reason. Maybe not.
No, I was about 7. But anyway, yeah, my mom had dated him, and I think at that point, like, he moved in with us and stuff, and everything was fine. But then he started getting like a little abusive and stuff, I noticed. I was little though. My mom did a really great job of like shielding that from me, like not really, but you
have to remember this story is through the lens of Audrey's memories as a child too. So it's like, you're like never gonna know everything that
No,
went
I
on.
never. But
And
this
don't
is just,
probably want to. So
for sure. But this is just kind of like, yeah, from my perspective, what I went through. But basically, like, I started noticing that things were getting a little abusive. Like, the cops were called, I think, a couple times. He moved out. He moved back in. Like, it was kind of just a thing. But at the end of the day, like, my safety, I was always very safe and very secure. I want to make that clear because, like, my mom did a really good job of just making sure that nothing bad ever happened to me or that nothing, you know, I never felt in danger. I just want to preface that. But anyway, at one point he came back into our life and he was living with us, and it was one night, like, me and my mom were putting up wallpaper, which is just really random, but we were putting up wallpaper and listening to music in our house. And I had a friend come over. It was pretty late, like 10 o'clock at night. My mom was watching one of her best friend's kids, and we were in my room, and I remember we were playing Yu-Gi-Oh like playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and this kid was a little bit older. He was a couple years older than me. And I just heard a scream, and I was like, uh-oh, like, that's probably not good. So me and my friend, his name's Bryant, we walked into the kitchen and saw my mom on the floor bleeding out. Scary. Basically, she was losing consciousness. She said, grab the phone, like, lock yourself in the bathroom. That's the only room in our house that had a lock. I remember that. And we lived in a tiny, tiny, tiny house. Like, it was like a 3-bedroom, but like probably like 1,200 square feet. Like, it was tiny. And so I tried to find the phone. I grabbed the phone, ran into the bathroom, called 911. Next thing I know, I get a knock on the door, terrified, because I was just like, I thought it was this dude. His name's Jeff, the guy that did it or whatever. I thought it was Jeff, like, coming in or something, but it was actually, like, they yelled, like, it's the police, like, let us in. And so, like, I let him in and everything, and they were like, we're taking care of your mom, like, everything's good. I would, like, and I remember being in, like, like an oversized t-shirt or something. He was just like, just go change really quick, like, we'll figure it all out, like, everything's fine, but, like, you're safe. And so I, like, change or whatever, and then, like, me and Bryant, like, head outside, and whenever I go outside, I just, like, see my mom on the stretcher, and, like, all the neighbor people, like, outside looking, and I just remember, like, I was just kind of like adrenaline, like, I was just going,
like, going
and then I saw my
motions.
mom on the stretcher, and I just, like, dropped to the ground, and, like, my neighbor lady, like, ran over and, like, held me and was just like, it's gonna be okay. Anyway, after that, me and Bryant got escorted into a cop car. My mom got taken off to the emergency room to, like, get situated or whatever, and at this point I still have no idea what the fuck is going on, you know, like, right, I'm just, like, very confused. My brother comes and he picks me up. My older brother picks up Bryant and I think Bryant's, like, grandma picked him up or something, and we start, like, driving to Cape Girardeau. Like, we just, like, drive an hour to, like, go find mom or whatever. Still have no idea what's happening.
Was she flown somewhere?
She was
ambulance?
flown.
Okay.
She was taken to an ambulance to the local hospital, and they were just like, no, get her up in a plane right this second. And so she got in a plane, and then she got life flighted to Cape Girardeau, which is like an hour from our town. Anyway, fine. So basically what happened was Jeff was mad because my mom didn't want to watch freaking Walker Texas Ranger with her. I don't mean to laugh, but that's so freaking dumb.
Was he drunk or something?
I think so.
Okay, I was going to say,
yeah.
like, what?
And she was just like, no, like, I'm putting up wallpaper. Like, I'm not going to go watch Walker Texas Ranger with you. We think he wanted her to do that so that he could, like, kill her and I wouldn't hear, or, you know what I'm saying?
He was trying to, like, lure her. Yeah.
Right. And so,
because things weren't good at that time.
No, things weren't good at all. Yeah. But then eventually, like, whenever I went into the other room, he took that as his chance to take a pocket knife, corner my mom in the kitchen, stab her in the chest, and his plan was to kill her. He didn't, though, luckily, which is fantastic, you know. Yeah. But basically, he nicked her heart. She dropped to the ground, started bleeding out. Then he got the car keys, ton of stuff, and, like, bolted out of there. Just, like, got her car bolted. My mom, like I said, she was taken to the emergency room. She flatlined like 3 times, but she luckily, like, persisted. Like, she made it through. She's such a badass, and she's, like, super fine to this day, and everything's good. Basically right after that situation, like, we lived with my brother for a little bit just because we were terrified, because Jeff was, like, literally on the loose. Like, they hadn't caught him yet, which is psycho crazy. Right. It took 3 months for them to catch him. super weird. I definitely believe in like witchy like things and like good vibes and stuff. My cousin came down and she like did like a smudge stick, like the thing where it's like, or a smog stick, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically like you light this thing and like it's to cleanse house, it's to cleansing, like to cleanse out evil spirits, stuff like that, because we had actually moved back to our house where it happened. And we were making plans to possibly like move to Iowa where my family was and stuff, because we just didn't feel safe that like he was still out there. And so my cousin went though, and she did that thing. Literally the next day, I'm pretty sure it was the next day, he was found. He was about to board a boat to Mexico, and he would be gone.
He would have
forever.
been gone forever.
Yeah, or maybe it was Cuba or something. Like it was
either way, something crazy.
Like, and at that point too, we had found our car. He like ditched our car, and then like 2 weeks later, they found him. But it's just wild. Like he was on like America's Most Wanted and stuff. That's
actually insane. See, because you have to think, like, I've never heard the story in detail.
Right, because you were so little.
I was so young too, and obviously it's not just something we sit around and like talk about in depth all the time. Like I know what happened. Obviously, I know like that's the order of events, kind of. So actually, I'm like actually very upset.
Like rattled. No, it's fine. We're all good in the hood. But basically, they caught him. The motherfucker only got 7 years. He's out. I mean, he's free, you know, whatever. But I will remember too, we were in high school whenever he got out.
No, I remember that.
Or maybe it was longer than 7 years, but regardless.
No, I'm pretty sure it was 7 years because I remember that number.
Then maybe
as well.
I was older then when it happened.
I thought you were like 8 or 9. I thought you were in like third grade.
Maybe I was. But anyway. But I remember the night that he came out, I think we were coming back from a game or something. Were you with me?
I think so. Genuinely, because I remember it being like a thing.
Yeah, because we stayed in the same town that it happened. Obviously my mom was married by then. We lived in a different house.
Yeah.
We had different, like my mom had a different.
You had a whole different life. Like literally you had a whole different life.
Like I was back from Dubai at that point. You know what I'm saying? And so, but the night that he got out, my mom was really nervous, obviously as she should. And I was coming back from a game. And I remember like calling my mom, like being like, okay, I'm almost there. And she was like, okay, great. And she gets like the shotgun or like a machine gun. Like my parents, or they're pretty big gun people, but they got her like a machine gun, and she was like, I'm ready, like whenever you come here just let me know, and like we'll have you run to the door and then like leave or whatever. And I did that, and it was just like, looking back, like that's so freaking funny. We're like, well, I gotta get the guns out just in case, you know, just be safe.
Gosh, yeah, that's actually insane.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, nothing else really.
Can I add to because she's talking about how she believes in the kind of just like weird stuff. My thing is there are just so many weird like instances,
coincidences,
whatever you want to call it. But I'm gonna add to that because like this is something from my perspective, because you have to remember, like, Audrey and I have been friends since before this happened. So I knew Audrey, we were good friends, but we were obviously very young. So it was like in that time period where we were good school friends, she would still come over like sometimes, but it wasn't like we were old enough to where we were hanging out every single day, because obviously our parents had to like make play dates and stuff like that. Anyway, I remember the night that this happened, I asked my mom and dad if Audrey could spend the night.
Yeah.
Okay. My mom and dad, literally, my house was where all my, like, if I ever had a friend, it was always, they spent the night at my house. Like, I literally had a neighbor girl that lived right next door to me, and she still spent the night at our house every single night. We never, like, I literally never stayed the night at her house.
Yeah. So
my parents always were, like, cool with us having friends over, having sleepovers and things like that. And I think part of it's because we're going to get into, because I was my trauma. Anyway, but that night, it was like a Friday night or something. And they're like, no, not tonight. You know, I'm like being pushy. I'm like, 8 or 9. From my memory, I'm like 8 or 9. I think I was in 3rd grade. That's from my memory anyway. And they're like, I'm like, please, we'll be good and whatever. And they're like, no, Courtney, tonight's just not a good night. We don't have a good reason. We're saying no tonight. And I was like, okay, whatever. And literally that's the night it happened. So if Audrey hadn't have been there,
my mom would have died. Yeah.
So that's just kind of really crazy how things happen like that. Because it wasn't even like something else was going on. Like they had no reason to say no. Like literally. And they really didn't tell me no that often. I didn't ask when it wasn't a good time or anything like that. Like I literally was like, it was a weekend and I thought it'd be fun. And yeah, so it just, crazy things happen. That's just crazy. It's really crazy. And no, but for real, like, it's one of those things where I think it's kind of been like, I mean, obviously it's not a sensitive subject now to us, but it's one of those things too where it's like we've always talked about it, but it's so weird to talk about like horrible things that have happened to you.
Yeah.
Because you can't almost like, you either relive it and it's like a really horrible experience, or you're like so outside of it, like looking in. Mm-hmm. And that's how I feel like I am most of the time, where it's like the things that I'm thinking about and speaking about, I'm not like back in that moment. I'm looking at it like it didn't happen to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's so crazy, because like if I actually stop and think like, oh God, like I'm thinking of this from your view, like if I was watching like you go through this now, like I'd be dead. Like I'd be...
It's just so weird. But
it's just crazy.
It's as bad as it was. I mean, and my mom could probably say the same thing too. Like, we're still fortunate it happened. Like, it did change our lives forever. But I do think, like, there's so many things that happened after that would have happened if it wasn't for this bad thing.
Yeah.
You know? For one, like,
the fact that you stayed in our town, and like that would have changed the whole course of our lives, because just thinking about our friendship, like if you would have moved, we wouldn't have
I would have had to move. That's what I was alluding to, because obviously, like, my brother maybe would have taken me possibly, but like my real father, who I don't have a relationship with, like, he lives in Florida, so it's like, well, maybe I would have went to him, you know, or maybe my whole family lives in Iowa, like my grandparents and my aunts and stuff. Like, I maybe would have been taken there, or I maybe would have went into like the system. Like,
well, my thing is, I was just thinking, even like if your mom had just decided to move, because that's just not a weird thing.
Also, we were going to move to Iowa, and then literally, I must have been 9 then, or so, I don't know, but something kept her in our town, and then that's when she like met my stepdad and stuff too. And I think it was fairly close. It's hard to remember now, honestly.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But super wild. And it's just like everything, our whole lives would have changed so much. It would have been so different. Obviously, we never wished that would have happened, but it really, like, our lives are better for it in a way. Except, I don't know, my mom can't ride roller coasters, which kind of sucks now because of her
I feel like a lot
heart surgery.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people just don't ride roller coasters for all sorts of reasons.
No, but she loved roller coasters.
Me too, actually. Someone told me I couldn't ride roller coasters anymore. I'd be so upset.
She used to ride roller coasters. Now she can't. Sorry, Cindy.
Darn Cindy. Flipping heart surgery.
Freaking
you kidding
roller coasters. Me? Anyway, but that's my trauma. And
I feel like now, Audrey...
what?
I feel like I had so much to say about this, and now that we're in it, I'm just like...
It's all right. It got a little deeper. I thought we were going to be more cracking jokes.
I know, but I really feel like we need to have this where we kind of lay it all out, because we're going to talk about it so much. And like we're saying, so much of our sense of humor and things that we kind of reference are from these times. And if you don't really know the backstory, like, you're just not going to get it. And it's not going to mean the same thing. And so, yeah, we, obviously it's not funny that Audrey's mom got stabbed, but it's just like...
badass. Anyway,
but also no, Audrey's like a flippin' baddie, and she saved a life.
Better stay away from my mom, or I'll stab you, son.
Yeah,
Step
no, literally,
off. Anyway, but go ahead with your trauma.
Okay, yeah, I don't even know.
If you can believe that Courtney's is bigger than my trauma. Wild, but it is.
Mine is really a lot to unpack, so I'm gonna try to like summarize it, because like, yeah, I feel like yours happened like in an instance, and it like kind of, but mine was over a long period of time. Okay,
go ahead.
So fun. No, so my trauma was that I was a cancer kid. Hashtag cancer kid. No, so whenever I was 5 years old, it was shortly after my 5th birthday, like a couple months after, I was just having some weird health things, and it's kind of like, obviously looking back, you're like, oh, okay, well, those are signs that like you had cancer. Anyway, it turns out I did.
Woo!
Guys. No, so I was just like bruising, I was just weirdly sick. You have to remember, like, when this happened, it was wintertime in the Midwest. So like, obviously I was not out in the sun. You always get, when you're a kid, you're always getting sick in the wintertime. So it was like one of those things where it wasn't like that weird.
Well, and does cancer run in your family?
Well, it's leukemia, and leukemia, the type that I had isn't like genetic.
Oh, so, but I was about to say too, like, there'd be no indication.
Right. There was like no reason why anyone would think I had cancer. Also, I was like 5 years old.
Right.
Like, you don't automatically think like that kid has cancer.
Probably cancer.
Yeah, you
especially
think
back then.
No, you just think like they have the flu, they have whatever. Anyway, so I had been having like these weird bruising for no reason, like, you know, just weird things like that happen. And one night, like, I remember specifically, like, you just have these memories that, you know, whatever. So I remember my mom was working or was out or something. My sister was asleep in the other room, and I was taking a bath. My dad was like giving me a bath, and he was like telling me the story of Christopher Columbus.
All right.
He's telling me the story of Christopher Columbus, and I was like, Dad, I'm really hot. I'm gonna go get my cup. I wanted to go get my cup, like my drink, out of like the kitchen or something. So I got out of the bathtub and went to go get my cup. I don't know what he was doing, whatever, and then I passed out. So I like fainted, and I wake up, I guess, like a while later. So the issue was that I passed out and I wasn't like coming to. Like, it's obviously like already,
oh my God,
like,
that must have been so scary for your parents. Like,
and my dad's home, like, without
freaking
my
shaking
mom.
you, like,
Yeah, like I wasn't.
Oh!
So my dad called.
Puke.
My dad called. Yeah. See, and you're gonna
I
realize.
can picture your dad, like, and that freaks me out.
Yeah, and you wonder why
Anyway.
my parents are like the way they are.
Amazing and protective.
See, this is like the only thing that I honestly might get like all messed up in this episode, but it's not because of like anything. Like, there's only really a couple memories of like me experiencing things that really upset me. Most of it is I think back to what was happening, and I'm like, if that was my child.
Literally.
Whew, yeah, my parents just, there's so much that they just like swallowed and didn't show in front of me, that's just what really upsets me now.
Yeah.
Like for this, for example, and little did they know it's going to get way effing worse. Anyway, so Mom and Dad, you may like not want to watch this episode, because they like literally watch this on TV. They watch our episode on TV. Anyway, yeah, so I wake up, there's paramedics there. They take me to our local hospital. They're like running a bunch of tests on me and whatever, like they don't know what's going on. And I guess the blood work was coming back obviously weird. So then I was immediately, ambulanced up to the city. So I like took a ambulance ride to St. Louis, and then I went to the children's hospital there. And honestly, I don't remember a lot of this. I remember meeting a doctor. I remember like kind of like bits and pieces of all this, but basically like they told my parents that I had leukemia. And yeah, so that obviously started like a very major life change for me, and like a really long period of my life, because the chemo that I went through was 2.5 years. So that's a really long time. And, obviously I'm all of a sudden like much sicker, because like obviously cancer just gets worse, and then chemo makes you like, it literally just like completely wipes you out. And so I went from being kind of like this happy, healthy kid, like no energy, really sick, no hair. Like, I wasn't even in kindergarten yet, because Audrey and I have late birthdays or early birthdays, however you want to. Yeah. I was turned 6 right after kindergarten. So this happened the year before I went into kindergarten. Anyway, so it just like obviously changed my whole family unit, just like rocked everybody's world basically. And so, yeah, I mean, there's just like a lot of really weird memories and times I have from that time period. And honestly, like that whole time, I don't remember a lot of it. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure like I've just blocked a lot of it out. I don't think it's like lack of memory. I just think I like shoved those away. Mm-hmm. And then, so obviously like I went through the 2.5 years, come out on the other side, in remission, whatever. Obviously like a little badass, I'm like a little bitty. I do remember being like the most hilarious kid. Like I remember like my parents made everything so wonderful. Literally the hospital I was at, flipping the most amazing people you'll ever meet. Mm-hmm. My doctor, still like love him. I need to probably like actually like reach out and call him or something. But anyway, so there was a lot of like really awesome and fun memories I have from like that time too. But like obviously it was like in a really dark, bad time. So then after the 2.5 years, like I'm done with chemo, and then it was within like, I think a matter of months that I relapsed. So then that's when things, I feel like, honestly, like for me, the real trauma happened, because at this point, I'm like 9, and like I remember everything. Like yeah. I just like got through all of it.
Yeah.
And so I remember how that happened was, I was like sick, and it was like a month or something, like a month. It was like weeks and weeks, and I just could not get over. Like I had flippin' strep, like, and just like every symptom you could have. I was just really sick and was just out of school. And I remember my parents saying like, hey, we need to go to Cardinal Glennon and packing a bag. And I just remember being like, you're packing a bag. Anyway, and so I remember going up there and then like sitting me down and just telling me like, hey, you know, like it's back basically. And I just remember like, this is, I feel like the most traumatic memory that I have from all of it is I just remember like literally like bawling and just saying like, why me? Like over and over. But anyway.
You're okay.
I'm fine. Anyway, and it's just like, and you know that's like obviously affected me so much, but like my parents had to just like watch all that, and that's just actually crazy. Anyway, so we do it all again round 2, and obviously the second time was like when all the like the complications happened and like crazy stuff, and I feel like I had like so many more like hospitalizations and just random weird crap that happened the second time. And obviously like we don't really know why it ever happened in the first place. So like that's terrifying. And anyway, I'll just say like, so at this point it's like 5 years, let's say, of chemo and just like weird stuff.
Yeah,
and
what's the time? What's the timeline again? So you got it when you were 5.
So I got it when I was 5, 2.5 years of chemo, 9 when I relapsed,
Yeah.
2.5 years. My last chemo treatment was in 6th grade. So by this point, literally it started before.
Or middle school.
Yeah, it started before I was ever in elementary school, and literally like the first couple months of middle school, I remember like finishing it up, and that's when I had like our end of treatment party.
Yeah, but literally like your childhood gone.
Like,
basically.
No, my entire like childhood.
All those, and it's not like it was gone. Like I still feel like you did normal kid things. You did, but I do like from my perspective and stuff too. Like I remember being best friends with this chick, and then like going to kindergarten, like so excited. Like I think we even told a story too about like we were on the playground like playing, like everything was fine, and then all of a sudden like Courtney's gone. Like Courtney's gone.
Yeah.
And then I would just see like snippets of Courtney. Like I would see Courtney and then she'd be gone again. And then I'd see her again and then be like, oh, she's getting healthier? No. But for the most of your childhood, you were homeschooled. So,
I honestly wasn't. Like,
you weren't? I thought you were for most of it.
No, I had like home health nurses and stuff like that. And maybe I was like.
Well, I know you were at school because obviously like we were in classes together and stuff. But you were like also.
I was out a lot. I was out a lot. Yeah. But I wasn't like, I would have like a teacher from school come do like homebound work.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that I survived, like, not like physically survived, I'm just saying like school.
Yeah.
Like the fact that I'm not like way behind.
It's crazy.
That's what I always, this is so bad, but because I did do well in school. I'm just like, what would my life have been if I didn't like miss so much school?
Yeah.
Genuinely. Because I remember going into like middle school and like people knowing things like that I learned quickly once they like brought about me like, oh, I was not there for that. Like I was not there that day. I do not know that. I do not remember that.
It's crazy.
Obviously like your schoolwork isn't the most like the highest priority.
No, but when you're a kid, it kind of is. Like that's before you start getting into a lot of like activities and stuff too. And
well, I just mean when you're literally like at home feeling sick.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You're just like, you're not gonna be like,
no,
oh.
but here's what I will say. Here's what I've taken away from this experience. My parents tried to make it, and I will say actually both my parents tried to make it like I was normal.
Yeah.
They acted like it was normal to me.
Yeah.
Like literally I was a normal kid. I went to school when I could, and when we weren't, like we were like having the best time as a family. My parents would try to take us on like vacations and stuff a lot, and nothing like crazy, but we'd like come to Florida a lot, like go to the beach and things like that. But no, like my dad was just like, I just never, like we never did like fundraisers or anything like that for me either, because he's like, I just didn't want you to be the kid that had cancer. I wanted you just to have a normal childhood to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the reason why, like I remember even being like young and just like, you just kind of have those like weird little out of body experiences sometimes where you're just kind of like, oh, this is like my life and this is weird or whatever. I remember like being in the car sometimes like 3 or 4 times throughout my life and just being like realizing that my experience is not what other people are experiencing.
Right.
Like, oh, I'm actually like a little bit different. Like
Yeah.
I'm not like other kids aren't
Dealing with
feeling this.
Like
they're
on
not.
Saturdays they're going to T-ball and you're going to freaking get chemo.
Right, yeah.
Very different.
Right, exactly. So, but yeah, no, my parents always try to make it fun. Like, I remember, first of all, they, like, literally their life, and not even my parents, I'll say my whole family, like, I owe so much of, like, just the fact that my life didn't suck to, like, my little sister. Like, I can't even go into it. I'm just gonna have to leave it there because she literally made her life mission to, like, make me happy and, like, entertain me. Because I literally just sat around with no energy. And I mean, obviously I try to play and do things, but it's just like, you literally just takes everything out of you. You have like nothing basically. And, you know, she's just, poor thing, carries, I'm sure, so much. I mean, my whole family carries trauma from me, and that's what I feel bad about. But anyway, no, I remember, like, just, like, a couple, like, just random, like, stories. Like, I remember obviously I had a port. I don't know if everyone's familiar with that, but it's, like, the little metal port that they implant in your chest, and that's where they will, like, put your IVs and stuff, and the chemo will go through that. Whenever you're, especially if you're experiencing, like, if you're doing, like, a chemotherapy, it's, like, over the course of years, they're not going to stab you in the freaking hand every day. They're just going to put it in this, whatever. Anyway, but for the first couple months of treatment, every single time they would do a PICC line where they run a tube up one of your main veins in your arm. But they put you out whenever they put it in, but when you're awake when they take it out. So they just pull it out of your arm while you're awake. Fun times. And I remember I don't remember if it was the first or second time, but I was at home and a home health nurse came to my house and was going to pull it out. And I remember my parents made me pizza rolls so I could eat pizza rolls so I wasn't just sitting there watching them yank a freaking tube out of my arm. I got to eat pizza rolls while I did it.
Nice.
My parents are always like, yep, don't look. There's just pizza rolls right here. Look, here, you can have pizza rolls instead.
That's so funny.
I know. Just random stuff like that. Like,
I'll never eat pizza rolls the same ever
I know.
again.
That's why pizza rolls have healing powers, guys. I'm telling you.
For real. That's crazy, though.
No, crazy stuff. And I will say, honestly, like, one of the most traumatic things that's other than just, like, being sick and kind of just having, like, a weird relationship with, like, illness now and hospitals and just, like, having
Rightfully
way
so.
more, like, experience in that area than, like, most people my age do. No, I feel like the most traumatic thing was just growing up and, like, losing my hair.
Yeah.
That's, like, something that, I mean,
You were a cute
don't
baldy,
think about.
though.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. No, but I genuinely think, like, I mean, I remember, this is so depressing. I remember, like, this was during the time when I used to play with My Scene Barbie dolls. I don't know who that is, but they, like, made little movies. And there was a My Scene movie that was jamming in Jamaica. And they, like, rode little mopeds around the island. I remember, like, I had a dream that I had, like, a moped scooter and my hair was, like, blowing in the wind. And I remember waking up and I was, like, bald.
Lit.
Lit, fam.
You did get a moped, though, didn't you?
I did. Moped out of it, though.
Your parents did swing you a moped.
They did give me a moped, though, one of the electric scooters. No, but that's, like, and honestly, I never had, like, a lot of people, like, say a bunch of mean things, and most of the time, like, when people did, it was just, like, kids who literally just, like, weren't taught better. They weren't trying to be mean. Mm-hmm. Like, I literally did have people that, like, tried to be mean sometimes, but it was always, like, a stranger. I never had someone at school. I remember one time, and I won't call it the person because he turned out to be a really nice person and would probably, like, die if he remembered. Yeah. No, but they were like, huh, like, they sat by me and they're like, haha, my uncle thought you were a boy in the yearbook. And I'm, like, in 4th grade and actually bald at this point. And I was just, like, obviously crushed on the inside. So just, like, some random really nice person. He probably doesn't remember, or maybe he does and he lives with it every day. I don't know. Anyway, now there's, like, little things like that. No, actually, I was talking to Emily about one the other day. We went to, like I said, my parents always took us on, like, trips and stuff to, like, make my life worth living and all.
That's good.
Your life doesn't completely suck.
Yeah.
You may not have hair, but you have fun experiences.
Yeah.
Anyway, we went to this, like, whatever is in Branson, Missouri that wasn't Silver Dollar City. They had, like, another, like, worse Six Flags type thing there. I think it was called Celebration City.
Okay, I don't know.
Anyway, my mom took us on, like, me and Haley on a little weekend trip there. And I was standing in line, and I remember my outfit. Because you have to remember, like, I'm a young girl growing up without hair, and I'm also someone who's, like, really into makeup and fashion and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like we would go to your house for makeovers,
right?
For sure.
So like I was into all that, and then also I like didn't have hair, so it was like it was obviously like a hard thing to like go through. Not that looks for everything, but I'm just saying. Anyway, so I remember I was wearing, this was in the time of Aeropostale, and I was wearing a pink like little mini skirt that was like the ones that were tight and had little like flared out like little baby doll skirt, and it had like a pink bow on it. Like genuinely, like I was dressed to the girliest you could ever dress, and I had a little black Old Navy shirt. It had like a screen printed graphic on it of a cartoon like animated girl walking a little poodle in Paris, and it said like bonjour or something like that on it. Like wearing literally that outfit, and I was standing in line for a ride, and these two boys that were like a couple years older, so probably like 6th grade or 5th grade age, and they turned around and said, "Are you a boy or a girl?" Like trying to be like funny. And I remember being like, what? Like I don't even know what I said. I may not have said anything, or maybe just been like a girl. I remember just like, oh, and I was like, well, and that is why I have a good personality.
I can picture it too, because you were a sassy mother effer back then too.
No, I wasn't.
I feel like you weren't sassy, but the way you delivered things, like to them, I can picture in my mind exactly how your mouth is moving, exactly the speech that you're doing. Like I can picture it. I don't know.
Maybe I was sassier than I remember, but I genuinely don't. I think I was kind of like, not to my friends, but just in general, I was kind of like a little bit quieter, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just because I was such a rule follower, and also when I was coming to school all the time, like people were having everyday life, and I was just coming sometimes. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like I really kind of like grew into myself just like with everybody, like strangers and stuff like that, until I was older. So I probably like just gave this kid like a what look, and then just didn't really say anything. But I remember like crying about it on anti-bullying day because they played at school.
I really don't mean to laugh, but I'm hysterical.
No, it's so funny. Literally at the school they played "Don't Laugh at Me, Don't Call Me." You know that song? They played the song. It said, "Don't laugh at me, don't call me names," and like, "Don't get your pleasure from my pain," or something like. It's like this really corny, awful song. They played it over the intercom system.
Oh my god!
On anti-bullying day at school. Also, they played "Bad Day" by Daniel Powder.
Of course, they had to play "Bad Day."
And I just remember like, because like our counselor was coming in and being like, people get bullied and it's like really bad, and me being like, wait, that was bullying, bawling, because like it was probably like a year ago or something at that point. Yeah. Still a freshman. No, now it's so funny.
I can be like, hi, Miss Counselor. I've got a story.
I heard one time this boy said, "Are you the girl or am I?" And I was literally wearing like the girliest outfit. No, but genuinely, that's why. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's why we have character. Like, you have to have a good personality. You have to have a freaking...
to get through it.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
First of all, I have to have a decent personality, because do you think anybody would have wanted to be my friend if I was just like this weird bald kid?
I had cancer. Yeah, like,
that's
no.
like sick. Like, no, I show up and I'm like, the freaking entertainment's
and she was
back,
too.
homie.
Like me, I remember from my perspective, we were still friends, but like we would have to make plans to have play dates, because it had to be like, okay, Audrey, like take your temperature. Have you been sick in the past week? Have you been anywhere where you think you could have gotten sick? Like it was like serious, because if Courtney got sick, like she could have died. I mean, like
every time I got sick, I had to have an extended stay at the hospital. That's why it was such a big deal. Yeah, I mean, I could have probably.
But every time we got together, it was the most fun. Like I looked forward to our hangouts so much, because not only were, Courtney and Haley like the coolest people, like the most fun to be around, but also too, just your house was so fun. Your parents made it so fun. Like it was always just such a nice time. And so I always really looked forward to that. So I will say, even though she had cancer, she brought it every time.
I had to. I had to. But genuinely, like whenever you're just going through crap all the time, and every person's life mission around you is like just to make your life not suck, you turn into a pretty decent person. If they're not just spoiling you and just letting you get away with anything, which I didn't. No. They just spoiled in the way of love. Like didn't lack in the love department, but I wasn't just like able to get away with whatever I want or something like that. No. Or just given everything that I want.
Right.
My parents just provide me with a lot of like experiences.
Yeah.
And an electric scooter.
Yeah, but you were never bratty.
No,
ever.
I really
Yeah.
and
We got bratty when we were older. Like we weren't bratty back then.
I'm
Yeah.
brattiest now than I've ever been, and that's not because of cancer. So
That's other life. That's our second
other
episode.
trauma.
Yeah. Anyway,
thanks a lot.
But that's kind of just the rundown of our trauma. And sorry too. We should probably do a trigger warning at the beginning too, just of like.
Yeah, maybe Audrey will have to insert like trigger warning. You don't want to hear about people getting stabbed and having cancer and everyone like looking at them and crying behind their back and
Yeah.
Yeah.
But really we are doing okay. So and we're fine. Obviously,
hopefully.
we're never happy that it happened, but it did shape us, I think, into more well-rounded,
Yeah.
more understanding individuals, which I am very thankful for.
Yeah. Also, do you feel like just going through something just gives you more like? I feel like it just gives me like it gives me like
Yeah.
I know what I want.
It makes the bad days to seem not as bad because you just put yourself
you're
back
like-
in that situation and be like, well, my mom could be dead.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I could have
could've
died from cancer.
or still have it.
No.
So yeah, no, definitely things could be worse. And
Yeah.
I also think it makes you realize you're like, okay, if you're going through a bad situation and it's in your control, like get the heck out of it. Because
Yeah.
like there are things that you cannot control that you're going to experience in life. There's going to be bad days still ahead.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're not doing everything in your power to make the best of them and be a light for other people, that's my thing is I don't think I'm like a fabulous, the most amazing person, but I genuinely try to be like enjoyable to be around and be that for somebody else because that's, I feel like without words or without like someone sitting down and being like, I'm here for you, I had so many people there for me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to end on, I think,
Yeah.
because I feel like that's the biggest thing that I took away from it was just
Yeah.
like be someone that's like a friend to other people and be like cool and fun.
Cool and fun.
Cool and fun, guys. Just be cool and fun.
Anyway, but how many years now have you been cancer-free, Court? Let's ring some bells.
Well, yeah, honestly, yeah. How
Over
it works.
10 years.
Yeah, well,
15
you go
years?
through went through so much chemo when I didn't even have cancer anymore.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you're in remission like after the first month or something. So technically like 15 years. Yeah, baby.
Ring a ding
Oh,
ding.
I just yelled so loud into this mic. You're going to have to cut that out. Yeah, baby, I meant.
But that's really exciting and something that's definitely, you should be
Yeah.
proud. Is proud the right word? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's like I mean, it's a weird thing because like obviously I'm not the one that like was giving myself medicine or something. Like there's a lot of people that went into making it all like turn out okay.
Yeah.
But one thing I will say is like some people just their spirit gets defeated. Mm-hmm. Like you either come out like a badass and like nothing can stop you, or like you just turn into like this just shell of a person, honestly. And I've seen both and it's sad. And yeah, no, I think it just made me like shine brighter.
Yeah.
Shine brighter.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, and I literally same for Audrey. I can say that about myself, but 100% for Audrey too. She always was a ray of sunshine and a light in my life, but
That's what I said for the longest time. I was just like, well, it could be. And I am so negative. You guys probably can tell by the podcast. I'm not a ray of sunshine all the time, especially the older I get. But then I just have to think back to that moment and be like, yeah, it could be worse. I'm going to keep being positive and trying to make my life as best as possible because it could have turned out so differently. Like I'm very
and it's
thankful
like
how
also
everything
like if you
turned
went, why would I go through all that just to like let myself have a crappy life? I'm like, I paid some dues. I earned some fun years.
Yeah.
And
agree.
I earned some fun
Yeah.
in life, and I earned for good things to happen to me.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
And that's on that.
and that's on that, guys. And by the way, no one deserves like bad things. I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm just saying though, like, I'm like, I feel like I paid my chunk.
Yeah,
a
maybe
change.
we find $5 bills on the side of the road more often or something.
Yeah,
like that'd be dope.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll make our own way as well. And we're going
Right.
to kick A doing it.
But just know whenever I'm like, haha, yeah, I was bald, or
Like that stuff really did affect us, but
that's what I'm talking about. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Like I didn't just like go woo and like shave my head for fun when I was a kid. Like I literally just like it fell out of my body.
Yeah.
And I had like just
And now
strings.
we have to joke about that.
I just had strings of hairs.
Oh my God, you're Angelica's doll.
I was Angelica's doll. I literally was Angelica's
We should
doll
do that
until
for
finally I was
Halloween.
like, someone get the buzzers to my hair.
Oh my
'cause
God, yeah, you can be Angelica's doll. What could I be?
Angelica?
Sure.
Hey, Arnold?
I was saying for my trauma, I could be like a dead mom kid. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. That's actually very sad for your part. Angelica's doll is kind of like funny. I mean, it's really sad. Because I'm...
Anyway.
Guys, I didn't cry. I almost did.
You almost did. I got shaky in my boots a little when I was telling mine.
I was getting I was really shaky in your boots when you were telling yours. And I was shaky in my own boots from across the couch.
Yeah. I'm still afraid of the dark, yo. So it's funny. Trauma never truly leaves you.
No, what do you think? We're going to have to end this soon because we're going pretty long here, but I could have talked way longer and I'm not going to. But what do you feel like is like your biggest kind of like thing that you carry now? Like what's your like biggest fear from it? We're going to end on a sad note.
I don't know.
Just losing people?
Yeah, I think losing people became very, very real to me, and that is my biggest fear is like losing people I love, especially Ryan. Like, I don't know. It does scare me a lot. Also, too, I'm always just like terrified I'm just going to see the guy somehow. He's probably dead or he's probably incarcerated again. I don't know where his life is, and obviously it happened so long ago he would never know, but that also is just in the back of my mind the whole time. It's just like, dude, he's walking free. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
It's kind of scary.
Bad person. Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of mine. What about you?
No, I feel like that's the same. My biggest fear in life is to lose people I love. Mm-hmm. And for someone to have to experience losing. Like, I know that's bad, but like losing me as well.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not scared of it for me. I mean, it is scary. I don't want to die or anything, but I definitely am like, I would never want to like put anybody through that.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah.
But we turned out okay. That's the point. That's the
point. And now we're going to go get some food.
And now, yes. Oh my God.
We're really hungry. We said, let's power through and get this done. And then we'll not get this done. We love you guys. But
yeah, let's do this and then let's eat as our treat.
Yeah. So we're going to go do that. But we love you guys.
Yeah. And just like, if there's anything to take away from this is just know, like, if you're going through something or you feel like there's something you're carrying with you, or there's like, obviously everyone has their like traumatic experiences or their bad things. Like everybody has something. And don't feel like yours is like not as bad or like,
oh my God. Yeah.
Just know that everybody has their crap and everyone's carrying something around. I think that's actually the worst part of adulthood is just like realizing that everybody has that thing that just like they can't shake.
Yeah. And
just know like there's always somebody who can relate to how you are feeling or how you felt, and you don't need to feel like, I feel like every time I get upset, I like think about those things, like those feelings that I just push down resurface. Maybe that means I need therapy. I don't know, but I could probably benefit from some. I just know that it's like you're not the only one that's feeling that way, and that if anything, you're better off for having experienced it.
Yeah. And your good days will feel even better.
100%. Honestly, like I don't wish it upon anybody, but like it really, there are blessings that still happen.
Yeah.
Peace and blessings.
Blessings on blessings. Anyway, but we love you guys.
We love you, and
have a good day.
Have a good week, day. Even a month or even a year.
Have a great 10 years.
Have a great 10
trillion years. You know what? Your grandchildren's grandchildren's, I hope they have good years.
Yeah, honestly, just listening to this podcast will give you 7 years good luck, and for future generations.
And blessings on blessings. Okay, well, bye. We're the girls of 95. Girls of 95.
Later. Goodbye.